Here we go. It's been a minute. Dom, how we feeling?
Feel alive, feel awake, ready to
That's good.
go.
Better than what you were saying to me a little bit ago. A few ibuprofen and called it a day.
Yeah, no, I had a migraine. I don't want to talk about it. We're
That's all
good
good.
now.
All right,
I, I
that's
just
good.
needed I just needed ibuprofen and a glass of water.
You
That's
just
all it
needed to see
was.
this beautiful face.
Well,
I know that always makes you better.
it makes something else better.
Hey,
Before we get into that,
so why we record from the top half here? All
you think
right, a
I'm
little
wearing
housekeeping because it's
pants?
been a minute. A little bit of housekeeping here. Biggest news: Brendan Sorsby. Let's just get into that right away here.
Yeah, I mean
I'll let you take over on that one.
yeah, Brendan Sorsby has the most interesting storyline getting into the start of this off season post NFL draft. So it came out the week after the draft that he is potentially not eligible for the upcoming year due to his gambling addiction, where he even at points gambled on his own team when he was at Indiana. Obviously, wasn't on the field, but it
During
got to the point.
injuries.
Yeah, it got to the point where like he would make bets on play-by-play basis with baseball and if the ball was a strike or a ball. It was that bad, his addiction, from what I've read and what he detailed. So he checked himself into rehab for that. But additionally, um, there's a lawsuit going on involved with him right now. NCAA is talking about making him ineligible to ever return to school. And he was eligible to come out this year for the draft. He was a fourth year senior or redshirt junior, however they want to
He was a
categorize that
junior,
at that time.
or I think he would have been a senior this year, fifth year,
Yeah, yeah,
fifth
yeah.
year.
Yeah. So he was a redshirt senior going into his fifth year. He transferred over to Texas Tech Red Raiders. I love the spot. I love the situation for him. But due to all of this, it has caused some clouding of what is going to happen going forward. Sorsby is like 6'3", 220, bigger, kind of athletic quarterback. He's definitely would have been the most athletic quarterback taken in the first 2 days of the draft this year. More
Mm-hmm.
athletic than Mendoza, Aller, Beck for sure. So he has that run on the play mobility, things like that. So what is assumptive going forward is the supplemental draft is going to be utilized for the first time in 7 years since 2019.
2019, the last one. I'll pull that up
So
again just for the sake of it.
fair enough. So it's not a question of if he gets taken, as long as all of this plays out the way everybody's expecting, it would be how high essentially is he taken. My guess is somebody's going to use a second round pick. Um, and if that is the case, nobody else is going to match that. It's either a second or a third that'll be utilized. If I had to assume that right now, he would be probably going to, if I had to guess, one of three teams: the Jets, the Dolphins, or Arizona, who never, none of those teams used heavy capital within the draft class. Arizona used the highest with Beck in the early third. Miami didn't even
Didn't
draft a
didn't
quarterback.
draft one.
And then the Jets drafted Cade Klubnik in the fourth. So
Yes.
honestly, fourth round pick on a quarterback is nothing. Even a late day two pick on a quarterback isn't much. I mean, I get it though. Beck was 67. You're gonna kind of want to utilize him. So I'm leaning less on. Yeah, I know. I'm leaning less on Arizona and more so on Miami and the Jets. I like Sorsby a lot. I think he could potentially be a starting quarterback in the NFL given the right circumstance. I don't know if Miami's that. The Jets could be that. Um, Other places I'd look to potentially take a flyer out on him could be Cleveland, who didn't draft a quarterback. Could be Minnesota, who
I
is
feel like
currently working
Cleveland
through their options.
can't though. There's just so much.
There's a lot.
circus going on with that quarterback room as it is. You can't add another
Certainly.
checkered past.
Nah. What's the worst that can
Well,
happen? I mean,
that's fair too.
so
But
you have like Minnesota, you have another team similar to that, in like Atlanta, which is already muddied enough. So adding a third name is gonna muddle it some more. And then the funniest and most insane spot that we kind of discussed prior to the show was Philly. Philly's an interesting one. You have Jalen Hurts, and then you have a guy behind him who a lot of people like in Tanner McKee, which is mind-boggling.
that's the only thing that would keep me from
Hesitant on that.
expecting that. Yeah, because
Yeah,
they used capital to get McKee.
sure. But then it's the same kind of situation with Sorsby, who I think is probably a better quarterback and
Mhm.
or athlete and would fit the system that they already implement with Hurts. And he can
Yeah,
probably do
you
a
want
little
to
bit
look
more.
at that actually.
But it would be if that were to be the case, we would have a direct answer on how they feel about him in that situation.
Damn, I didn't realize Tanner McKee was as tall as he was.
He's like 6'6",
Yeah.
big dude,
6'6", 231. Swordsby 6'3", 235 is what he's listed at.
235. Okay, a little bit bulkier than I thought he was, but
I mean, still, I mean, that's
that
great quarterback body in the
no,
NFL.
I mean that in a positive manner, not like a
Yeah.
negative manner. I like big mobile quarterbacks like Josh
Mm-hmm.
Allen who can do just about everything you need them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think those are kind of like the places I'd look at. If the Steelers didn't draft Lar as high as they did, I would literally circle Pittsburgh and poke it with a pencil.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
it's kind of like a similar take with Arizona. It's the same kind of
Yeah.
situation.
I would
You
expect probably either Miami. Miami would probably be the most likely. And then you bringing up the Texans, that is interesting to say the least.
I mean, it's the same thing with like Carolina as well. You have a young quarterback who is
Yeah, I just
ascending or
think that
descending. So
that's like Houston at least makes a little bit more
a little
sense
bit more
there, I
sense
think.
because Stroud's been on the decline these last 2 years.
Yeah, and
This season's kind of like what's going to happen.
it's more of a make or break, and if you do that, it's kind of a kick in the ass to
Correct.
get your shit right here. You mentioned Minnesota. I don't think so. I think there's enough noise surrounding that quarterback room right now as is.
Detroit.
Don't want to add a third one in there. I did like Indy makes some
Detroit.
sense.
Indy. I forgot about Indy and Detroit makes some sense too. Goff's coming
Detroit, I
up.
don't hate that.
Good Goff's getting older. He's
Mm-hmm.
like the fifth oldest quarterback in the NFL right now. I saw that today.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, his play style works specifically for Detroit, but anywhere else it might not work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see in the coming years how Goff is going to handle that situation. Yes, he recently did just get paid, but in that same light, we've seen quarterbacks get cut for
Right.
nothing,
Now,
basically.
granted, do I see Goff getting cut anytime soon?
Not at
But,
all.
if
But
you have that kind of succession plan, you don't.
I mean, the Rams do. So,
It's
but yeah, I think Indy makes a
still
ton of
gross.
sense given their situation. Danny Dimes coming off of an Achilles, question marks surrounding Anthony Richardson, whether he'll even be on the starting roster come opening day.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I feel like they want to get that done.
yeah,
Like one way or the other. Well, not one way or the other. They want
it's
to get
one
him
way.
moved sooner rather
It's
than
just
later. So
what team's gonna do that?
who's going to offer up the most for it, kind of thing? Which
Every team right now is vying for a higher 2027 pick if they know they're gonna be bad, because it is a potential big class full of quarterbacks who could
Mhm.
go high. And I like some of the fits, and it's tough for me to look at the landscape of the NFL and be like, Anthony Richardson could fit with this team. I don't. It's tough because if I knew who the coach was going to be and trusted that coach to develop him, sure. I mean, he's still only 23 years old, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
It's tough. It's tough to kind
he
of
just gets
sit here.
tired too quickly.
Yeah. So I'm curious
Also,
to see going
side
forward
note
what's going
with
to
all of
happen.
that,
Hmm.
I always forget this. Chris Carter was a supplemental draft pick too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. The more you
And
know, right?
yeah. Anthony Richardson is 23 for 10 more days. He's younger than Bo Nix, Michael Penix.
Yeah, most guys.
He might be the same age as Mendoza, which is nuts.
Yeah, Mendoza's 23.
So I mean, and so A Rich is going into his
What, year
third,
four?
fourth NFL season,
Yeah.
and by the end of next
But
year, him
I
and
do
Mendoza will
think
start the same amount of games.
Mendoza, I was just going to say, Mendoza has played more games in the last 4 months than Anthony Richardson has since
And it's
being drafted.
100%, and that's the
Yeah.
unfortunate reality.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But yeah,
Um,
um, yeah. So just look out for Sorsby and how that's going to
Very
conclude.
interesting.
Supplemental draft is. Let me look when that is. Um, July. So often occurring in July. So it could be
Yeah.
sooner, could be later, just depending on how everything kind of shakes out here in the upcoming weeks. Typically, it never matters because nobody ever gets claimed. But like I said, this year is a little bit different as long as
Hmm.
Sorsby enters supplemental draft. In other news, uh, Chris Boswell deservedly so, got his flowers this past week,
Shout out
yesterday.
Bozzy.
4-year, $28 million deal, $7 million a year for kicker. Ties Brendan Aubrey, who just got almost the exact same deal
Hmm.
last month. So that's huge in the realm of kickers and them getting paid higher than half the starting running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then,
Pretty crazy. Absolutely crazy. But,
yeah,
again, that's, I was talking to somebody about it today with that deal. I'm just kind of going like, damn, like, it is a lot of money, and it's just wildly impressive being a good kicker in that
hmm
division.
yeah, he's not just good, he's uh,
Like that
perfect.
stadium specifically, like I mean,
Hmm.
it's impressive. Like he who should not be named, having being the most accurate kicker of all time in that division. Like those are four very difficult stadiums to kick in. You got bad weather, you got wind all the time. Like Pittsburgh is no slouch with that. Like
Hmm. The
it's
longest
always a
kicked
nightmare
field
kicking
goal,
there.
yeah, longest kicked field goal in Pittsburgh's history for a long time was like 55. Yeah, I think it's up to like 59 now, but
Yeah, in that
still,
stadium,
it's just tough place to
it's tough
kick,
to kick there. And Cleveland and Cincy, same kind of thing. It's cold,
especially
shitty,
Cleveland,
windy. You got all that.
right on the lake.
Yeah, you got all that crazy Great Lakes weather, and then Baltimore, you got the harbor, and that's always weird. It's always windy.
And then last
But
little piece here is that David Njoku finally signed uh, yesterday with the Los Angeles Chargers. Like the spot, like the place.
love that a lot.
More weapons for Herbert. I think it fits all around pretty well for them.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I'm going to sound like an asshole here, but is Keenan Allen back for another year there too? No. Where did
He's
he
still
go?
a free agent.
As
He's
he's
just
still
a
free
free.
agent.
I mean, he's
Gotcha.
33 years old, 34.
Yeah, I wonder if
If
they'll
he
just bring
signs,
him
it'll
back just
if
because.
he signs, it'll be pretty late in the process, I imagine.
I would assume, yeah, and late in the process too. That's fair,
Yeah, I mean,
but that would be
those
huge for Justin Herbert on third down, having Keenan Allen and Njoku.
mhm,
God damn.
can't line them both up in the slot though. So
Why not? Do it anyway.
yeah,
It's
fair
Harbaugh. He
enough.
does whatever the fuck he wants in the first place.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here for the big news.
Yeah,
We have,
that's everything.
what is
we
this,
got.
part
4.
4? Part 4, yes. Couldn't remember. I was trying to do the math on it there. Part 4. Top 25 quarterbacks of the Super Bowl era. We are up to number 10. Going to be doing 10 to 6 here. Getting into the real party of it. So, at number 10, showing some love to the old era here. Fran Tarkenton.
Yes.
He played from 61, 78, but you eliminate first, 5 years that is, before 1966. And it's still very good. Extremely good, especially for that era. 7-time Pro Bowler, an All-Pro, an MVP. He, in those 12 seasons that he played in the Super Bowl era, he was top 10 in yards all of those years and was only outside of the top 4 twice. Similar kind of thing in terms of touchdowns too, or passing touchdowns during that stretch. Just year over year, one of, if not the best quarterback in the league during that stretch. He was an early dual threat quarterback too. If you take into his whole career, he's 8th all time among quarterbacks in rushing yards.
Okay.
5 yards per carry.
Okay.
Just in the Super Bowl era, 5.4 if you go his whole career. With that, also got him into some trouble with his coaches, originally in Minnesota before he went to the Giants, which his coach at the time was Sorry. I mean, also his nickname was the Scrambler, which is even funnier. Got into it before he got traded to the Giants. Who the hell was his fucking coach? Why am I blanking on that now? Norm Van Brocklin. Did not get along with him. He was the coach. And Van Brocklin did not like, quote, his penchant for scrambling. Yeah, Tarkenton, forces his way out of New York at that time. Well, not necessarily forces his way out, but said it's either me or him. And they said, okay, we'll keep Van Brocklin. You go to New York. And then spent, 4 or 5 years there? 5 years with the Giants, yeah. And then came back to Minnesota and was, again, just very good with them. Completed 60% of his throw, or 58 at that time, which, you'll fucking take it in that era. And just under 35,000 yards. If you put it in the context of his career, like he's got the most yards outside of Fouts in just the Super Bowl era. If you go pre 83 draft of guys kind of thing, by far. And, you kind of tip your cap to the all-time record there. He's 15th all-time.
Not bad.
In passing yards. Where are you? There it is. Yeah, 15th with 47,000. That's, again, the most by far. Fouts is the closest there with 43,000. Again, that's all in the Super Bowl era. Tarkenton's goes back before that a little bit there, but even still at, 35,000?
Yeah.
He's not behind him by much and much less time. And it's 7,000 more than Johnny Yale, who I don't believe I had on this list, because there wasn't enough post. Yeah, enough. And, in the actual Super Bowl era. So, for the sake of paying respects to guys that we were not even thoughts of, yeah, when they were playing, again, got to give some credit to the old heads here, and that I think is the best one. No Super Bowls there, but can't deny the quarterback talent.
For sure. Before you move on, he does hold an all-time record in something. Do you know what that is?
That is something that I would have missed.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did read it, but I don't think I wrote it down. What was it?
Sack yards. He has the most sack yards of all time.
Yeah, that's why I didn't include that. Yeah.
He's been sacked for a total amount of 5,207 yards.
That is why Van Brocklin wasn't a big fan of his. Because sometimes you start running, you got nowhere to go.
Well, specifically in his first 4 years, he was sacked a total of almost 1,800 yards.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, his sack numbers are pretty bananas.
Yeah, his lowest total was 17 times in
5,200 yards and sack yards lost. Yeah,
Just
he's second all time in sacks. Rodgers is number one, and that's the nature of Rodgers' game. Yeah, he's just played for so damn long, and is willing to give him up. But yeah, Rodgers has 600, has been sacked 600 times. Fran Tarkenton is actually tied for second. Wow. Guess who he's tied with? No. Ben is 5.
No, Eli didn't get sacked a lot.
No, he didn't either. He got rid of the ball quick.
Brady. Brady never got sacked.
Brady's 4, but again, he played for 400 years.
Yeah. Not Manning.
I am actually wildly shocked by this one.
Is it Rivers?
No.
All right. Let me hear it.
Russ.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, but he was so slippery for so long.
He had a bad O-line for the beginning of his career, and then still he always got sacked. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But again, for a guy that we've kind of, in his peak was lauded for his escapability.
Athleticism. Yeah. I mean, same with Ben. Ben escaped pockets like nobody's business, but
he just had horrible O-lines, and
he could have gotten.
He didn't get sacked as much as you would expect because it was like trying to tackle a fucking redwood.
Exactly.
Like that helps.
That thick man.
He's a big boy.
All right.
Real big boy. So next? Going to number 9 here. Who was my favorite quarterback for a very long time.
Woof.
In terms of, for being in the essence of full disclosure. Drew Brees. I got him at number 9.
Oh, I jumped up to your number 8. My bad.
Oh God, no.
That's why
that was never. Yeah, that is not. Again, Drew Brees has had his moments that are a little woof, but like not like that.
No. Yeah, I was meaning woof in the other sense, not that sense.
No, I knew what you meant. Drew Brees, a 13-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP, 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. Like, just for the sake of the accolades there.
Comeback Player of the Year?
Comeback Player of the Year as well. Actually, no, I think we got to wait for somebody to get to that. Oh, yeah, we got to wait for that one there. But yeah, was he? No, wait, hold on. I got to double check that. Did he win a Comeback Player of the Year?
I don't know. That was.
Yes, he did. Yeah. He did. I just had to think about that first. It was his first year in New Orleans.
Yeah, 04.
After the shoulder surgery and everything like that.
No. He won with San Diego.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes. In 06, he won the Walter Payton Man of the Year.
That's what it was.
Which was
Walter
his
Payton
first year
then
Yes. I mean, the man has a
Yeah,
shit ton of awards,
and
except
just everything. Yeah, he
MVP.
had. Yeah, of all the things, and we've talked about that before. There's definitely 2011. He won Offensive Player of the Year,
Mm-hmm. And didn't win
and
MVP.
probably should have won MVP. Let me just look at that. 2011, I
Was it
think.
Brady? Was that a
Yes.
Brady?
I want to say that was a Brady year. Just for the sake of
Because
it.
12 was AP, 13 was Peyton.
Yeah, I believe it was Brady.
I
No, it
mean,
was
typically, if you
Rodgers.
but it was Rogers first.
That was the year they went 15-1. Yeah.
Yeah, that. I forget Rogers has four of them bad boys.
Yeah, and again, an insane year. They went 15-1. Rodgers threw for 4,600 yards, 45 touchdowns, only 6 picks, and a 122 rating. Drew Brees that year though,
Through 4,500 yards almost.
5,400 yards, almost 55, 46 touchdowns, 14 picks, 71% completion percentage,
Yeah,
uh, 110 rating.
he was gross.
He was
I mean,
absolutely disgusting.
you just have those nowadays. Like, just is what it is. You have people who are biased and see wins as a stat when wins aren't necessarily a stat.
Yeah, it is what it is. But again, you get 15-1, you're usually locked into an MVP
Something.
there. But regardless, was the record holder in just about anything and everything you could think of until Brady decided
Brady
to play
played.
another 4 years, or however much longer it was. But yeah, he's second all time in yards, second all time in touchdowns, seventh all time in passer rating, second all time in yards a game, third in completion percentage. He's the all time completions per game leader,
Mm.
which is impressive because, again, just the volume that he threw the ball, and having the passer rating and completion percentage to go along with that as much as he was throwing the ball, especially once he got to New Orleans.
Hmm.
He's third all time in game winning drives, sixth all time in comebacks. It's I kind of did this when I brought up Lamar in this one where it's just like, man, you go through it and it's just like all the records, just the records and statistics and the accolades. Like, man, there's just so much with
Hmm.
these guys. Like, it's the two of them. There's so much to go along with them. He's got the most 5,000 yard seasons. At one point in time, he had 5 of the 9,
Yeah,
and now
I
he
know.
has 5 of the 15 that have happened.
He's insane.
Yeah,
Especially because he's not a big dude. He's what, 6 feet
he was
tall?
listed at 6 feet, but it's also come out that he was not 6 feet tall. Sean
No, he's
Payton just
definitely
wouldn't
five.
allow
More
him
than.
to be listed at less than 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
So
So
he was like, yeah, everybody said he was closer to like 5'10", 5'10 and a half,
yeah, I mean,
and
so
threw over the middle of the field.
not a big dude. Made he one of the most accurate quarterbacks you're ever gonna watch on film,
Yeah.
and just disgusting.
Yeah. Highest single season completion percentage, 74.4% for an entire season. 16-game season did that. Most seasons leading the league in yards, most consecutive games with a touchdown, which is 54 games in a row. Most seasons leading the league in completions. Like, I mean, you can just go on and on with him. It's unbelievable. Again, like you go through his 5,000 yard seasons, like his lowest of the 5,000 yard seasons was 5,069. And then he's given you 5,100, close to
Mhm.
5,200 twice, 5,200. And then as his second all time again. It's like the story of his life. Second all time, in single season yards by one.
Who's won?
Manning, 2013 Manning.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he
I
5,477 yards.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how many yards he had, but that's crazy. It's a
54.77 to 54.76.
He held that for 2 years. That's
literally 2 years, and Manning decided to go absolutely bananas that year. So like, there's all of that just from the counting statistics side of it. Undersized, was a great tennis player too. Fun fact, that's why he was so quick in the pocket, like that lateral quickness.
Yeah,
he was, speaking of, escapability and avoiding sacks. Like Brees, as not a very athletic guy, but just quick and agile. Like, he did a very good job with that. I mean, career-wise, he's 571 touchdowns to 243 picks, 80,000 passing yards. One of two guys with 80,000 yards. And then you just add in like the storyline aspect of him. Goes to San Diego, has the shoulder issues, wins comeback player of the year. San Diego doesn't want to invest in him. He almost goes to Miami. They decide they don't like his physical either. New Orleans takes a chance on him, and that was paper bag Saints era, the Aints.
Yeah.
Hurricane Katrina happens, and New Orleans is kind of just left for dead too on top of it. I mean, he just kind of became synonymous with New Orleans, with the Saints. They rebuilt together, it felt like, and then a couple of years later, they're holding a Lombardi trophy.
Yeah, I mean, his first year, they go 10-6.
Yeah, won their first game. I still remember the blocked punt for a touchdown. Their first home game in the Superdome there, too, after Hurricane Katrina. That was unbelievable. Just an incredible career that just didn't, for various reasons, turn into more wins. And there were years that they definitely could have won. The Minneapolis Miracle. I mean, Philly would have had to come to New Orleans that year, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2017? I want to look at that now. I want to look at that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Philly does not. No, they would have still had to go to Philly. I forgot how good Philly was at the beginning of that season before Wentz got hurt. But even still.
Yeah, to backtrack slightly here, the reason San Diego at the time didn't invest at all in the Brees is because 2 years prior they had drafted
and Rivers. He was a cheaper option, and
technically they drafted Eli, but that's a
they got Phil Rivers. Yeah, Phil Rivers was on the roster, but also, it made it a lot easier with Brees' shoulder at that time too.
Correct.
But regardless, so there's that. The Minneapolis Miracle in the divisional round. Kind of ended a very good season, and then the following year was the no pass interference game in the NFC Championship. And I am willing to bet you, as good as that Patriots defense was, I don't think they were holding Drew Brees to 3 points. Part of that was year two Goff. Yeah.
It was.
And Young with that. Year 3.
Might have been year 3.
Year 3, yeah.
2019. So, yeah. I mean,
whatever it was, yeah.
It was just a young roster all over the place. But, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, there's two. Even before they won it, they had I don't want to say unlucky break, but what was it? 2000. Yeah, the year before they won,
Mm-hmm.
2008. The year the not 2008, 2007 season. I think they were the 2 seed again and had to go to Chicago in the NFC Championship game. And it was a shit ton of snow. And Chicago ended up I think that game got a little out of hand by the end of it. Not a little, but like it was like kind of comfortable for them.
Yeah.
And that was the only, I think, like I said, I think they were the 2 seed that year. So you just kind of have that break. Dome team from the South has to go play in Chicago, of all places, in January.
Gross.
Yes. Moving on here. Don't really want to have to spend a lot of time here, but again, on the sake of respectability and honesty in this list and integrity in this list, which this man has none. Number 8, we have Brett Favre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, don't want to spend too much time on this, but he's a 3-time MVP. He's a 6-time All-Pro. He's an 11-time Pro Bowler, Offensive Player of the Year, won a Super Bowl. Started at the beginning of a run of just very good quarterbacks for the Packers. He's 4th all-time in yards still, 5th all-time in touchdowns. Kind of rebooted the Packers in the 90s, too. I mean, by that time, the Packers had gone through, more than a 20-year stretch of kind of just in no man's land. Post Sports Star, it was just kind of, they couldn't get going again. And then he put them back on the map, the whole Titletown thing. And again, don't want to give him credit for it, but that year with the Vikings was something.
Yeah, that 09 year.
Yeah, got to give him a lot of credit for that because that was 38, 39-year-old.
40. He was 40.
Was he 40 at that point? I couldn't remember if he was 40 or not, but
Yeah,
that was
didn't play that long either at the time. So
no, and you didn't think he was going to be the one.
Not the way he played, and especially when he was on the Jets, man. That season was weird.
That was bad.
Nobody. I mean, he didn't have bad. He had an okay season, but
yeah,
he also was. Yeah, the Jets won.
22 touchdowns, 22 picks that year, 3,400 yards. They went 9-7, and then it was the next year that he just found it again. Yeah. Which again, wildly impressive.
That was his best touchdown to interception year he ever had.
Because he, as far as I know, he still leads he's the all-time leader in picks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
still, and it's not that close, is it?
I couldn't tell you.
I'm trying to find that here.
I can assume Ben's in the top 5.
Yeah, it's not that close. He has that record by almost 60, by 59.
Second.
George Blanda.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's a lot of old guys.
Really?
A lot of old guys.
They were throwing picks back then, man.
They were not that accurate. It's not until you get to Dan Marino at 8 and Peyton at 9 and Eli at 12, Brees at 13. But they're all 80 behind him.
I guess you would turn.
Ben is 24th.
Nice. I'll take that.
He is 1 behind Tom Brady and Phillip Rivers.
Less picks than Brady? I'll take.
By 1.
That ain't changing.
And 4 less years. I'm just saying, just for the sake of it, just what it is.
But yeah, for everything Favre was on the field, which was purely just a great quarterback.
Yeah, just big body, go through all of it with him. It is
complete opposite off the field. You
complete.
Forget a lot. Yeah, everybody kind of forgets that he was drafted by Atlanta in the second round, traded to Green Bay. That's a whole situation, but
And
he's
then,
a great quarterback on the field.
be careful answering any text messages from him,
Or
or
don't
don't donate
don't
to any of his charities.
don't get involved in any school sports if you're a high school student. Just
Anywhere,
kind
yeah.
of just stay away. Don't
Yeah,
go
it
to
is
like
what it is. It
Missouri
is,
area. I
yes.
think
However, on the flip side, he does have one of my favorite little trivia bits. Do you know who his first completed pass was caught by?
92.
92 Falcons.
He didn't complete a pass in the final. It was Green Bay. Unless we're talking like preseason, he completed a pass. But
No, then maybe it was in Green Bay.
according to what I'm looking
Let
at
me just
here,
double check it here.
he did not complete a pass on the Falcons. And
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was when he. Yeah. Sorry. It was.
You're good.
It was in Green Bay. I thought it was when
Was
he got
it
in with
was
them.
it this guy's late years of his career or early?
Very early in his career.
Okay, so that tells me he doesn't stay in Green Bay. If it's like a wild, like kind of thing.
Spent a lot of time in Green Bay before he moved on.
Okay.
There's a
Is it a
reason
wild?
there's a reason it's like my favorite little like trivia question.
Is it a wide receiver,
Nope.
tight end,
Nope.
running back,
Nope.
offensive lineman?
Nope.
Was it like a DB?
Nope.
Was it himself?
It was himself.
Okay.
Yep.
I was like, that's the only
Threw
other
it.
like, thing that could make sense.
Got tipped up into the air. He caught it, ran forward for like a yard and a half. Yeah.
I think I've
First
seen
completed
this.
passes to himself.
I think I've seen this play. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's
Yeah.
enough of Brett Favre for the day for me.
That's all I need to do there. I don't want to do anymore. All right, moving on to 7. Back to some more fun here. John Elway. Start with the accolades here again. 9-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, an MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Just quick run through that. I mean, him and Marino battled it out in the 80s into the 90s just as like the most talented guys. I mean, Montana was the one winning everything, and then Young in the early 90s. But I mean, Elway, I mean, you go back and you look at it, that's still the gold standard for QB prospects even today.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he was what you look at with athleticism versus size, and you still kind of measure guys up. Is he 6'3" and above? Is he 230 plus? Can he move in the pocket? Can he move outside the pocket?
Can he make all the throws?
Yeah,
it's a talent. It was
correct.
Look, it's the greatest prospect since Elway.
Mm-hmm.
That being a part of your legacy is like that just sticks with you.
It's a huge thing. Yeah.
And to this day, he's 12th all time in yards, 14th all time in touchdowns, 9th all time in game winning drives, 10th all time in comebacks. Won a lot in his time. He won 64% of his games in his career. What was the final number? 148, 82, and 1.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most efficient guy by any standards, but again, nobody really started being efficient until the mid 90s and later.
Yeah, I was
at
gonna
that
say
point.
even then.
It's different. Yeah, like I'm looking at it like Favre's was for his career was 62%. Yeah, 300 touchdowns to 226 picks. We kind of just went through that as well. Again, wildly athletic. Rushed for 3,400 yards in his career. That is Where does that put him all time? Oh, 13th, actually.
No, I was gonna say
13th among quarterbacks. Yeah. So, yeah, again, I mean, one of those guys that got to a Super Bowl early, lost, and then took him a very long time to get back. But, between Mike Shanahan, Terrell Davis, ends up winning two in the back half of the 90s there.
Yeah.
Gets his 2 rings, gets to ride off into the sunset. Just one of those guys that was just wildly, wildly talented the whole time, and has just been struggling to find more of that in Denver. Had a lot of different times of his tenure working with them in the front office.
Found Peyton.
He found him, for a few years. I mean, hey, listen, 2 Super Bowl trips and a win. Doing something right there.
One of the most embarrassing losses.
Oh God, that one still like kind of hurts to watch
because it happened in the 2013 season.
But yeah, that's true. I just mean just in general. I mean, remove everything out. Just watching that football game is like
it was
one of the more difficult things.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Yeah. But yeah, so
it wasn't like the same thing happening to the Steelers when they played the Browns back in 2021, 2020, 21.
2020.
2020? 2020 season. Yeah.
But the Steelers came back and they fought in that game. There was no fight in the Broncos. They never.
Oh yeah, that just got. I mean, they kind of fought, but like they also.
It wasn't close. There was no hope. At least with that Steelers Browns game, like there was a moment where I was like, oh, they might actually do this, and then their defense forgot how to play football, and I was like, never mind.
Yeah.
But with that Broncos team,
even so, but I enjoyed what I'm saying is I enjoyed the Steelers Browns one. That was at least like kind of fun. And that one also felt a little bit different too, because that was the year that they started 10-0 and then like
that team was
into the playoffs.
Then it happened. It was 2019. That team
was that it then? Maybe I can't remember.
Because the year they lost the Browns, did they still have 8B the year they lost?
I don't remember. That's a good question. Anyway, getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't even remember what I was going to say anymore. Yeah, just John Elway's legacy there, just as the college quarterback to the player in the NFL. The decade and a half that he played. It was only, 17 seasons? 16. Mm-hmm. 16 years. But a good 16 years. A good 16 years. Great baseball player, too. Good for him. All right, and then jumping up to number 6 here, kind of tackling the other guy that we just mentioned here, Dan Marino. Again, quickly on the accolades. 9-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro, an MVP, and an Offensive Player of the Year. Up until Rodgers and Mahomes, I feel like you kind of look at him going, that's the most talented guy to ever play the position. I feel like that was an argument that could have been made a lot with him and was discussed
Rodgers?
A lot.
I'm sorry, I blanked there for a second.
No, you're good. You're good. I was saying like up until Rodgers and Mahomes, like
yes.
I feel like Marino, everybody kind of talked to him as like the most gifted passer of all time. Like Elway was like the prototype, but Dan Marino was the artist, if we want to go about it that way.
Correct.
Just the arm making Marino, all the throws. Yeah.
He was viewed as the best quarterback to ever play the game. Like talented-wise, gifted-wise, like you were saying.
Most talented, yeah.
Yeah, he was the best thrower of the football
Yes.
if we're talking generalization. Because like if you put Dan Marino, I'll stand on this for the rest of my life. If you take Marino and you say you put him in as a rookie in 2008 to the 2012 era, somewhere in there, I think
Oh my
he
God, yeah.
becomes the best quarterback we ever see.
Yeah,
Period.
he's one of those guys that was
It
just,
was ahead of his time,
yes, he was 20 years early.
and he didn't have the wide receivers that are in today's NFL that can make plays.
Hmm.
He didn't have any of that. He did it all. He had to force it all. Like I think the best wide receiver he ever played with was Mark Clayton,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
they weren't
insane.
they weren't great Dolphins teams.
No,
They
no,
were
it
just
was.
great because he was there.
I mean, their best year was 14-2, his second year in the league.
That was the year he got to the Super Bowl in year 2. They got blown out and he never got back.
Yeah, he threw 5,000 yards, 48 touchdowns,
First,
7
yeah,
million picks. Was that did they play Giants that year?
Niners. I'm pretty sure they got dog
Niners.
walked by the Niners that year, and it was like they lost bad. Yeah, I mean, you go through his like playoff numbers too. Like, I mean, he played well in the playoffs too. It's just they just couldn't win games. They couldn't
Yeah.
get to another Super Bowl because again, they just like the team wasn't great. It was just him. But yeah, he's first to throw for 5,000 yards, first to 60K all time. He's 10th all time in yards. He's 8th all time in touchdowns, 6th in game winning drives, 8th all time in comebacks. Just unbelievable quarterback for so long. Great in Ace Ventura.
Fantastic in Ace Ventura.
Also, I did see this too. I did not realize this. He's the only person, only NFL player that has like the NFL version of an EGOT. He's the
Starred
only.
in the movie.
No, not that, but like the NFL's version of it. He won Rookie of the Year, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, and Man of the Year. Only
Wow.
person to win all 5.
Wow. And that Man of the Year was the second to last season.
Yeah, but even still, like regardless, like only person to win all 5 of those awards.
Yeah.
He was. I think we kind of talked about this too. Like, took not a lot of sacks for the amount that he played. He played in 242 games.
17 seasons. Only took 270 sacks, so it's pretty low on the list that we just talked about there.
And especially for that era. Because
Correct.
like we were going through it. It's a lot of the older guys and guys in that era too. Like, I mean, Brett Favre in the '90s, Elway had 516 for
Yeah.
in basically the same amount of time and the same stretch. They were both drafted in '83. When did Marino retire? '97 was his last year.
99.
99. Yeah, so he played one more year and sacked
Less.
almost 240 less times.
Way less. So
Yeah.
just a crazy thing.
Bledsoe more. Phil Simms more.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of overlap there. Randall Cunningham, way more. Yeah, just, again, an incredible quarterback and almost slept on. He was he was the last of the 5 quarterbacks that were taken in that draft class.
Yeah, he was drafted 26.
Like 2, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I'd have to double
The
check.
Steelers even passed on him, and they needed a quarterback, which is hilarious enough. But that story kills me. That they did what they did back
He was
then.
the 6th one. He was drafted 27th.
27.
Went behind.
Like
So
you
I mean,
said,
obviously Elway went number 1,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was Todd Blackledge, Jim Kelly in that draft,
Yeah.
Tony Eason, Ken O'Brien, and then Dan Marino.
I mean, you have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in a draft class.
3 guys that are on this list. 3 guys that are on the top 20 of this list.
That's a pretty good draft class then.
Extremely good. I mean, that's like the historic draft class, the '83 draft. And it's just those three.
But I mean, it's hard not to imagine having. It's hard to imagine having three Hall of Fame quarterbacks come
Exactly.
out. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like, and we kind of talk back, or we talk about the 2018 class. There were 5 that went there. 1's not in the league anymore. 2 we're assuming are going to be Hall of Famers, and the other 2 are productive. But again, even as good as that class has turned out to be, like, only 2 of them are probably getting in.
More than like, depending on how the rest of Darnold's career goes. I mean, he wins another Super Bowl.
If Darnold rattles off a couple more, then that changes things. But
sure,
I also feel like he could be one of those that even if he wins 2, but finishes with 38,000 yards.
I think he'd
probably not going to do it.
He'd be needing MVP season and some other shit has to go his way.
He would have to play. He would have to go on, at the very least, an insane playoff run that finishes with a crazy Super Bowl.
Yeah, certainly a story for a different day. But
yes,
the only other 2 classes that kind of compare to that is like the Burrow Herbert, and then you have
4.
Obviously the 04. That's wrapped up. You kind of see how that played out with Ben and Eli and Rivers. But I was gonna say actually the most recent was the 24 class with Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Top. Just because like that was a 6 quarterback class. Assumedly, how it's played out, 2 of those quarterbacks have half their body out the door with their teams due to injury and or just complacency, while the other 4 have kind of established themselves within their team and organization. So that class,
2004 is probably giving you 3.
Oh, I just don't know. I don't know.
I mean, Ben's getting in for sure, and yes. I think you and I both talked about this. That it's not going to be shocking to either one of us if both Eli and Rivers get in. I just think that at the very least, they're both going to be waiting for a little bit.
100%.
Yeah, it's definitely going to take some time. But even still, and I also at the same time too. Not going to be shocking if one of them doesn't get in. I think Eli gets in before Rivers.
I mean, Rivers reset his clock, so we'll see in 5 years.
Well, that's fair too, but yeah, that does help him.
That helps Eli more than it helps him. Because
I don't know though, but I feel like, but again, I think if one was gonna get left out, I feel like it was gonna be Rivers regardless. I think him coming back and resetting that clock actually helps him more than it helps Eli, because Eli is going to be going up against this run of Hall of Famers or of guys like the real titans of it all, and Rivers is going to be coming in after that. No, because especially if Rodgers plays another year, like he gets that little gap.
Yeah, I was very much wrong. Eli's fuck.
Yeah, he's in a rough spot.
I'm looking at this.
Like I said, I think he'll eventually get there, but he's gonna have to wait. Like, he's not a first ballot.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at next year. So you have AP, Ben, and Gronk. All could be first ballot. Nobody would bat an eye. Then you have the likes of Suggs, Willie Anderson, and Yonda.
And Suggs and Yonda were both finalists this past year.
Correct. So they're automatically finalists next year. So and so there could be even more players, but like those are like 6.
The next couple of years, we have some really good classes. I mean, this last class was impressive.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, But yeah, I mean, Gronk is a first ballot. Outside of that, you can make arguments for the others to not be, but Gronk is a million% first ballot Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that one's not going to be a question.
All right, last tangent. That's it, guys.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got. We'll have 5-1 finishing out this list here relatively soon. That'll be a little bit more fun here, I think, too.
And then we'll have some other off-season stuff to get through.
We got schedule release this week. I'm
this
very
week.
excited for that. I cannot
Thursday.
wait to do a full breakdown of that.
Yeah, I didn't even bring those up because I know
we got a few. Also, I just want to get ahead of this here. I am calling because I don't think it's actually come out yet. But first game of the year, the Seahawks game.
Chicago. I've heard that everywhere.
It has to be.
It's all but official.
I think there's only two. There were only ever two options for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was either Chicago or the Chargers.
And Chicago's the only one that makes sense.
Chicago makes more sense. They can build that one up a lot more as like a NFC Championship preview. It's offense versus defense with the head coaches, the young quarterback versus the young superstar quarterback versus the game manager. They're coming off the Super Bowl win. Like there's so much that they can do with that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what it'll be, and it'll be a good game. But yeah,
I'm looking forward.
We'll get into that here later, either this week or next week, depending on how our schedules line up.
This and when all of them officially come out.
Yeah, I mean, schedule release is officially
leaked games.
Yeah, schedule release is officially Thursday night. So if we're both able and available, maybe we'll do a reaction to that. But outside of that, we'll see how that goes. And we're gonna have some games and things.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Oh, we can do that live if we want to. Actually,
potentially.
I'd be very interested in doing that. We'll talk about that.
Correct. And then we'll have some, like I said, some games and some other things we're gonna roll out here as the summer progresses, getting into training camp in July.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excited to slam this off season.
Hell yeah! All right, you got anything else?
I do not.
All right, well, let's get out of here.
Yeah.